Hey guys, Dr. Dustin Judd here. Thank you for taking the next step into checking out your child's nervous system to actually assess how well this brain is actually communicating to this body, and vice versa, how well this body can actually communicate to this brain. Guaranteed, most folks have never had this checked out. They've had their baby's weight, they've had their head circumference measured, you've done all these subjective questionnaires when it comes to ADD and ADHD and oppositional defiance disorder and sensory processing, and you've done the OT-PT and all those things. But what we're going to be doing next, what we're going to do is we're going to do a thorough examination. First off, we're going to start with a consult. Like, we literally sit down with knee to knee to parents, moms, and we ask them what's going on. We always go all the way back to birth because we want to know, what was that pregnancy like? What was that birth history like? Was this child formula fed? So your paperwork that you get inside here is going to be unique. It's going to have a lot of questions like, how is this relevant now? Well, it is, because all this stuff, ADHD, oppositional defiance, sensory processing, it didn't start overnight. It built layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon choice upon decision, and so what we're going to do is we're going to deconstruct that. We're going to play CSI investigator. We're actually going to go in and figure out why some of these things have happened. Did they have a crappy immune system early on? Like, we want to develop that, and then outside that consult, we're going to take them back. Depending on the age of the child, we may or may not take x-rays. Sometimes we do if they're older. We want to see the relationship. We want to see what their spine looks like. We want to see how it's actually moving. The next thing we do is we do neuroimaging, and inside of that, we're going to do 3 tests. We do an EMG to look at the tone, look at the pattern to see if there's balance and there's symmetry inside the neurology, to see how their muscles are actually firing. How well is this brain communicating to the body? The next thing we do is thermography. We want to see if there's any skin temperature differences, to see if there's subluxation, to see if there's stress on that nervous system. And the third neuroimaging test is we do a stress test on everyone that comes through here. If your child is truly in this state of fight or flight, sympathetic dominance, where their brain is spinning so fast that information is pinging off of it, and they've been labeled with ADHD, then we want to know that. We want to know where they're at. And so that's all the stuff that we're going to be doing on this very first day. Yes, it costs $97. We're going to dig in. It's a discount. Normally we charge $150 for this. But we're going to dig in. It's not going to be your standard office visit where we ask you some questionnaire, some questions, and then label and give you a prescription. It doesn't work like that. We're actually going to dig in, sit knee to knee with you, do a thorough consult, do an examination. We're going to check every spinal bone all the way down from occiput to pelvis, and then we're going to do neuroimaging and any x-rays that we need. So thank you for taking the next step. What's going to happen after this, after you put your $97 in, Cheyenne, she's sitting here right behind this camera right now. She's actually going to reach out to you. She's going to call you. She's going to set up an appointment time that works for you. She's probably going to ask that you book out a complete 30 minutes for this, if not longer, so we can sit down with you and talk to you, or talk to you about your child. And so that's where we go from here. We'll set that time up. We'll also set up a secondary visit. That's when we actually go over that. So we're going to collect all this information from you. We're going to get those neuroimaging. We're going to get that exam, possibly some x-rays, and then the next day, me and then Dr. Riley will actually sit down and we'll look at what that consultation, what that history did, and then we'll look at that neuroimaging, we'll look at those physical exam findings, and we'll make a decision. Hey, can we actually help this? Are we going to make a difference? But I can tell you, without working with hundreds, if not thousands of children now, we always are able to help. Some kids are dramatic. Everybody wants to know, well, how long is it going to take? I don't have a crystal ball to look into, but every case is unique. Every child is unique. But we're going to get those answers, and those are the answers that we'll give you on day 2. After we look at that paperwork, we'll sit down knee to knee with you or your spouse, or whoever that has questions. We'll sit down with them, and we'll make sure that we answer every single question. In fact, I encourage you right now, take you a yellow legal pad, or just take you some, jot down your questions for me. And that way we can fill them out there, because right now I'm going to throw a ton of information at you, even on your consult, and certainly on that day 2, that we want you to be able to ask every question, not miss anything. So again, thank you for taking the next step. Thank you for logging on to this website. Thank you for putting your credit card down. One thing is just putting your time, energy, and even a little bit of money back into your kids, back into your family. You are the purveyor of health for your family, and just thank you for taking the next step. I can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to sit down with you. Can't wait to meet your child, and I look forward to you meeting on the other side of this camera. Thanks.